Hello, hello. I'm just figuring out something here. Be patient with me. I'm still learning. Okay. I have to be able to read you guys. Hey, Don. How you doing? How's the weather out there in California? Hey, Vicky. Yeah, Don, I saw on the news that there was lightning storms in Los Angeles. Okay. We'll wait and see if anybody shows up. But anyway, it's gonna, it's gonna be, what do you call it? I know I'm awake. My mouth isn't working, but I am wide awake. Oh, okay. I just figured instead of filming this and then posting it, I would just go live and do it Vicky's way and just let it go. First time? Oh, good. I love first timers because I'm a first timer with this too, so it works out pretty good. I had this idea, this vision. I was going through a bunch of my books and I had harvested some pages from some others were just a mess. I got a whole bunch of books recently at our library. They were just trying to get rid of them the last day of the sale. Another first timer, thank you. Scotty, you're up. Excellent. Scotty has a lot of goodies I have to probably go up to go get from her. Oh, anyway, we're trying to get Scotty to move. Scotty lives about, well, over an hour from me, and we're trying to get her closer to her family, which just coincidentally they live in the same town I do. So I kind of have ulterior motives for her to come down and be with her family. She'll be closer to me too. Anyway, so back to the books. Our library, probably most of your libraries, they have annual book sales. At our particular library, what they do is they have it over the weekend. Then on Monday, you can go in and you can get a whole big bag full for $1. And so, I look for the real sad ones because I know I'm going to tear them apart anyway. So that's what some of these are. I've gutted some of them and I've, printed on them or played with the jelly plate with them. And so now I just, have all these covers. So what I thought would be a really cool idea is if I gave you a heads up on something that I'm planning, and then maybe we could do this together. And if you can't make the live stream, well, you can always see it when it's, run just on YouTube. But I think it'd be fun. That way, a lot of you on the videos, they will ask questions about how to do this or how to do that. And, they might be missed or they're hard to explain, or you can't explain it. At least I can't always in writing. I can show you, but it's hard to explain. So I thought if we did it this way, as your questions came up, then on real time, I can answer them. And even if you ask the question once the video is up on YouTube, then the next week, whenever I decide to do the live stream on this subject, then I can address those questions visually. And I think it's easier for me and obviously easier for you too if you can see, what the answer to your question is. Okay, so what I would like for you guys to do, those that want to get involved, is go looking. I'm sure a lot of you already have a bunch of books that you have torn apart or ready to tear apart and are in really, really bad shape. So those are the ones that you're going to be looking for. And I have a few that they were so bad that, I mean, they literally just, fell apart. There wasn't much, saving them at all. So back to my vision. Okay, so I was cleaning up and I came across all this stuff, and the news was on at the same time. And the news is all crazy these days. And somebody used a phrase that just clicked, and I'm translated it into my journals. And because of the condition these were in, and this was the saying he said. I hope this isn't backwards on there. It said, "Get a spine." And I thought, oh, my books are missing their spines and the binding and everything. So this is what this journal project is going to be. It's going to be called Get a Spine Journal. All right. So this is what we're going to do. What? Oh, Scotty, what did I do? So it's Get a Spine Journal. All right. So now I have had a few spines that I've collected just because, the book didn't look that interesting and I was done with the book. But like the Audubon, I mean, I love, nature and plants and birds and all that stuff. And then these just kind of looked interesting to me. And then I liked, the gold on this and all this kind of good stuff. So I have gutted books that have the binding and the spine in it. I have the books without, and then I have just these alone. So that's what I would ask you guys. Hi, Laura. So I would ask you guys to, look in your stockpile or go to your local library or, some flea market or something and look for the ugliest, most falling apart books that you can have. But knowing you guys, they're in your craft room right now, just like me. So those are the kind of things we're going to look for. So on the first day that we, deal with this, we're basically going to need these, maybe some glue, but really we're going to need some heavy duty type tape to get all this stuff together. Now, a lot of you already have supplies, but for those of you that are maybe just starting and haven't tackled this, and this is all new to you, you can get pretty much what you need, like at a Dollar Tree. You don't have to go and spend a lot of money. Now, I know at the Dollar Tree, they do have masking tape. And so this would work just fine with masking tape. You can get that for $1. I know that they have this black tape. This is electrical tape, but it sticks pretty good. And you can get, I think in a package, it's either 2 or 3. Hi, Jennifer. It's either 2 or 3 that you get for $1. And this goes a long way. And it looks pretty cool on your pages too, this black tape. And then there's the duct tape. I think they have some at the Dollar Tree, a little small bundle. And this is probably the best because it sticks the best. But I would suggest that you do not get the decorative one. I have some of that somewhere around here. The decorative one is not as sticky as this kind is. So I would stick with the ugly one. It sticks a lot better for this purpose anyway. So that's what I would suggest that you get. All right. So, so what we're going to do, we're going to make a journal that is going to be a little convoluted because we're going to use some of the spines to decorate with, but we're also going, this is going to be like not a trifold, but what is that, a quad fold? I don't know what we're going to call it. And we're going to use these extra spines to put it together just like this spine is. So it's going to look pretty cool. I'm not sure what's going to end up happening because I've never done this before. We're going to do it together. So it isn't like this is something that I've you know, done already. But for sure, what we have to look out for is if we're going to want this to fold, or if we're going to leave it just open big like this. This that we're going to be working with, this book that we tear apart, is going to have to be, you know, it can't go to the middle. So it's going to have to be a little narrower than this book actually is, and definitely cannot be bigger, or else you won't be able to maneuver it. But anyway, so that is the beginning of the of this book or journal or whatever it is we're going to call it. Now, this spine here, if you find the size of book that you like, but it's not thick enough, well, we can just rip that spine out and we'll work together, and I'll show you. For those that do not know how to do it, we will put a new spine in so it can be the thickness that you want it to be. So that's not a problem. So it's basically the size that interests you, because we can maneuver, you know, the thickness of this book and make it work for us. Oh, Mary, you want a real thick one? Yeah, probably. Yeah. Gorilla tape. Yeah, that would be perfect. I don't think they have that for $1 at the Dollar Tree. I was just, you know, talking about things that I know that you can get there for cheap. But yeah, you can use anything that is sticky. And if you have a husband that likes to work a lot in his garage and has every single tool and every single kind of thing you can think of, I'm sure he's got something in there. I know I have my own little carry case that I carry all those kind of tools and stuff. And I've got all kinds of tapes in there that I've accumulated even before I started doing this kind of stuff. So like here you can see I already put the tape in there. Scotty, I could be live for you all the time if you were here. I'd be more than just a voice. You can do it, Scotty. You can do it. Oh. Oh, okay. Yeah. So anyway, so where is that other? Oh, I left it somewhere else. Oh, well. Anyway, so back to the decorative one. So if you have some of these, make sure you find those, and we're going to work with these also. Then once we put this all, you know, together in the configuration that we want, then depending on what you're going to use your particular journal for, you know, some of you might like to do watercoloring. Like Vicky, she loves to do her watercolor. So she may be thinking in terms of filling up this spine here with some watercolor papers. There might be others that they just like to draw. So they might be putting some kind of mixed media. And then people like me that basically all I do is glue. So I wouldn't have to get anything fancy like that. If you are not an old person, but used to do scrapbooking in the old days, not that you're old, but just the idea for some people have become old for scrapbooking, you might have a lot of scrapbooking paper. And if you want to make one of these, we could use that kind of paper, and then we're going to end up covering it anyway with things that we're going to glue on top of it. We could do maybe a color theme if you were going to do a glue book, and then you could get all those colors of scrapbook paper that you have and and you know, carry that theme. I did that a couple of times with one of my journals. I did hold on one second. I have it right here behind me somewhere. Yeah, this right here. Like this particular one, I decided to make a little glue book, and it's all pink. I didn't think I liked pink, but then I realized when I was cutting things out of magazines, I had a lot of pink stuff. So I got some of my scrapbook paper and I got a bunch of ones that had, you can see there were all different pink ones that I really didn't use. I didn't like it. And because I didn't, you know, I didn't think I liked pinks. They were just sitting there in a pile. So I made those all of my pages. And then I came back and I just started to systematically glue down all of the things that I had cut out of magazines that was pink. And it came out pretty cool. I don't have a theme. My theme is pink. So everything that I had already taken out and put in my little pouch with all my pink items, they just fit. And so that's an option of what you can do with this book. Because I'm sure you're saying, well, once I get it done, like most people that haven't done this before, the first question is, well, what are you going to do with it? Well, I'm trying to give you some options. And one option is just gluing down. If everything else intimidates you, well, everybody knows how to cut out of a magazine and get a glue stick and start gluing down. And if you already have some pretty paper in the background, you can't lose. It'll all work out. So be thinking in those terms. If you've never made a junk journal before, and if you don't know what to do with a junk journal, well, we are going, to show you how yours can turn into a glue book very quickly. And people will say, oh, that is so cool. And all we do is glue. Look, we can fool everybody. Everyone will think we know what we're doing when all we are doing is cutting and gluing. So there, that's one of the things that you can do very easily. So that is one of the things that we can do with it. And again, depending on what you're going to do will determine what size of a spine that we get. Right? Get a spine. Like, for instance, this one. This is pretty thick. This one works pretty good. I think that this would be pretty good for Vicky. And Mary, too. Mary likes the thick spines, so that would work really good. Yeah, this is pretty cool. Hi, Patricia. So, all right. Any questions so far about what we're going to do with this project? So that if you have that question, I'm sure somebody else is going to have the same question. No questions? I can't be that clear. How are we going to bind? Excellent question. All right. I'm going to show various ways of binding because I know some people are intimidated by binding. So that's why I'm going to show various options. This is really going to be like a how-to from beginning, how to do a junk journal, but with a little twist, because for those that have already made 110 journals, this will be a little different because we'll also be decorating it and doing it, kind of ramping it up a little bit. But for those that are new, I'll have various options and we'll go through the various ways of doing it. We can do really whatever you guys want to do. It's up to you guys. And then I'll go ahead and show how to make those particular ones. And maybe we'll have one kind of binding in the center one, a different kind of binding on this one, and then a different binding there, so that we could basically have 3 different bindings so that you can see how all 3 are done. And that way you walk away with, some skills as opposed to, wondering, how does this get done? How does this get done? Yes, Jackie, see, that's great. It'll be your first one. And you be thinking about what kind of binding you like. And, and based on what the majority want, we'll pick 3, the top 3, And then we'll go ahead and we'll do that, assuming I know how to make those three those three bindings. Now you're going to show what I don't know how to do. Oh no, the pressure is on. So that'll be cool. So then for those of you that think you're going to turn yours into a glue book, then you, at the same time that you're looking for your book and you're looking for your binding, you can start your little stash. If you want to do it by color, well, then you can start getting all those things. If you're the type that likes to do it by subject, you can start getting all those pieces. So, you know, whatever you lean toward, I'm sure you've seen, if this is your first one, you've probably watched endless videos just like I did before I started doing this. And you already know, you know, what your eye, always gravitates toward. And so that would probably be the thing that you're going to want to do. Hi, Lisa. So those are kind of the options. Like I said, you might want to make a watercolor. You might want to do the glue. You might want to turn it really just maybe into something really shabby chic looking. A lot of people like that look still. You like the, what are the popular looks right now? I don't think shabby chic's ever going to leave. Everyone still likes that vintagey look. What other looks are in right now? Because I hardly do the looks. Oh, grungy. Yes, grungy is in farmhouse. I love the farmhouse look. Ring binding. I can show you ring binding because it's just a matter of punching holes, but I don't think it'll be too conducive for this because ring binding, and no offense to anybody, but ring binding is when you don't want to really bind a book, right? Because you punch a hole and you put the rings. So, yeah. So I can show you. Matter of fact, I have one. If you got, hold on. It's in the other room. I will show you one of my ring bindings. Talk among yourselves. Okay, so I did this. I made several of these. Hold on. And these are ring bindings, right? And all I did is I took a box. Excuse me, got the hiccups now. I went to the local grocery store and they were unboxing the Hershey's syrup. And so I took the box. Well, I didn't really take it. Well, I took it, but I asked for it. I said, excuse me, can I have the box? And they go, okay. So this is from a box and I just put a little bit of fabric on there, punched a hole, and then I used a bunch of trash, scrap papers, envelopes, and packaging in here. And so all I had to do basically is just punch a hole on all the papers in the same spot and, put it in there, throw my packaging in there and whatever else I wanted to use. I have cardboard and papers and, whatever. And then do the same on the back and it's done. So, this would get done very quickly. So these are fun. I like making these. But when it comes to all this folding and everything, I don't think it's going to work. But I think they're pretty cool. I like this kind. Next. Okay, what am I missing? I have to have a drink. Oh, I think this fabric is super cute. You usually find, what do you call this? I know all of you know the name of this kind of fabric. It just escaped my mind right now. What's it called? Tacking. No. What's it called? Come on, people, you know. Tickings. Yes, tacking. Oh, what a goofus. Okay. Well, anyway, you can usually find it in red and you can find it in blue, but I don't know if it shows up, but this is actually brown. And I had never really seen brown before. And so I thought it was kind of cool to have it with the hello Hershey syrup. So I just had some scraps of it. And so I put the brown on there. And, you know, it's not that clever when you have to explain it. And I had to explain it. but anyway, it's brown. I think it's pretty cool. And the spine is just this is the antithesis of get a spine, okay? Because there isn't one. So for those of you that are just arriving, we're going to start a new project and we're going to call it Get a Spine Journal, all right? And so start collecting your covers that are torn apart, that have fallen apart. If you saved the spines, if you don't have the spines, whatever, let's start collecting these things. And we're going to make a cool project. And no, I can't show you what it's going to look like because I've never made it before. And so I thought we need to try and do a project together real time. So it isn't like I know any more than you do about, you know, where it's going and what it's going to look like and what can go wrong and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, we're going to really, really do this together. Okay. Is this for one of my groups? No, not necessarily. I haven't really discussed it anywhere except for right here. So, you know, I think it's just going to be for those that want to watch the videos and we'll do it together. And we're just going to leave it at that. I have too many things going on in my groups. I don't need one more thing. I don't need one more thing to have to do in my groups, to tell you the truth. So, yeah, this is going to be just for here. All right. Oh, you like that idea? Okay. Scotty, what? Oh, yeah. Give me a thumbs up, people. What is your problem? Okay. So now what we're going to have to decide is when I'm going to do this. I'm really bad at planning. So I'll probably have to, what am I going to do? I don't know. I'm not sure when I can do this, to tell you the truth. And if I can do it at the same time each time we do it. So at the beginning, you're just going to have to be patient with me because, yeah, I should have thought about that before I started, huh? But I had the idea and I said, hey, I don't want to make a video, so just let me go live so I can, you know, it can be easier. Hi, Ann. Yeah, Vicky, I don't do anything on my page either on Facebook. I mean, I rarely put anything on my page. On my personal one or my page, I have both. I don't hardly ever put anything on there. And yeah, I just use it for the groups too, pretty much. That's about it. Yeah. All right. Any other questions about this? Because I don't know if I made myself clear or not. I feel like I'm rambling, so I'm not sure if I have, you know, related exactly what we're going to do or when we're going to do it. Let me see. I have another one here. Where did that go? Hold on. Um, I thought, no, I don't have that one here. No, hold on. Because of those of you that are in my group that work a lot with the trash, or even if you're not in my group, but you like doing stuff with trash, instead of getting the scrapbook paper to make these blank pages, if you want to do something with color themes and stuff like that, you really can use anything. I've used the insides of junk mail that comes in. I've used magazines as a backdrop and then glued on top of that, which is fun to do. Here's wrappers to, hot dogs. So you can use anything. The papers, cleanup papers and stuff like that. Black beans, you can use anything. So if you're new to this, don't be, intimidated. This is what it looks like before we start painting and gluing. It's just, it's just whatever. But then once we start putting our paint and gluing our things down, well, then obviously it starts taking on a new life. See? So for those of you that already aren't hoarders, this is the time to start. Okay. Oh, and don't forget your envelopes. Those are very important. But I know, every day there's new people are discovering, the whole world of junk journaling. And it can all be pretty intimidated in the sense that there's so many different words. People just make up words and make up names for journals, just like I just did. But they're all the same. They're all the same. They just give you different names. But basically, your journal is whatever you want your journal to be. Whatever it is you want to do with your journal, that's what it is. And nobody can tell you anything different. Oh, Vicky, your journals are beautiful. What are you talking about? Vicky comes over and makes all these pretty pages for her journals. They come out so pretty. Hers are artsy. Ouch. Hold on. I got to put this stuff up or I will be on top of it all. Let me show you another color. This was a red one. I like the color red, but I honestly didn't have that many red things in my stockpile, which was kind of odd. I had more pink things, which I didn't think I liked pink, than I did for my red stuff. Yeah, I got Vicky over here with all her artsy stuff, and there I am, gluing down shopping carts to to paper. But here again, I got scrap paper. Here is some scrapbooking paper, the red in the back that I hadn't used up. So those are all the backgrounds. And then if any junk mail came in that was remotely, kind of reddish, it got thrown in the pile to turn into pages too. But you can still show an artistic flair even if the only thing you are doing is gluing down, because you start putting down what's pleasing to your eye, and then it just grows from there. And if nobody else likes it, it doesn't matter. You're the one that's going to sit there and flip through it. And when you flip through it, it's going to inspire you all over again. Because every once in a while, when I feel kind of bored and I go, oh, I don't know what to do, I'll get one of these journals I have that I have, done by color. And I do it, and instantly I get all excited about something with some bright colors, and I go from there. So even if nobody else likes it, it's for you, really. Anyway, your art is for you, not for anybody else. So just let it inspire you, and you've really accomplished your goal. You got to run, Dawn? Well, don't hurt yourself. Are you running out to go get eucalyptus leaves? Oh, she's going to go get jack-o'-lanterns. I see leaves there, though. Thank you for coming. Dawn lives in a really pretty part of California. Well, all California pretty much is pretty, but she lives in a pretty part up along close to the coast. I sort of miss California, and then I don't. I'm not sure. I think what it is just my friends more than anything else. No. I was teasing, Dawn. Don't worry about that. I'm going to be busy with all my fall stuff, too, if I don't get anything from you. Yeah. Dawn is my eucalyptus connection with my eco dyeing that I do. One of the prettiest prints that you can get are from eucalyptus. And where I live in the center of the United States, we do not have any eucalyptus. And even if you go to the florist, the eucalyptus that they usually use is not the variety that does the printing, because there's over 200 and some varieties of eucalyptus, and not all of them print. And but Dawn knows where they are, the ones that print, and they come out pretty. They come out really pretty. But what part did I live in? I was born in Corona, California, which is in Riverside County. And then when I was about 16, we moved to Escondido, which is in San Diego County. The one in Hawaii, I haven't tried that variety in Hawaii. You're talking about the one that's on the rainbow. Is that the rainbow eucalyptus you're talking about? Oh, Jackie, you're in San Diego. Oh, give a wave. My parents still live in Escondido. Yeah, the eucalyptus. The one that I like the best is, I don't remember the real name of it, but it's commonly known as the silver dollar one. It has a, the round shape of a silver dollar, and I love the way that one prints. And I think in Hawaii, the only one they have is the rainbow eucalyptus. I could be wrong, but on the Big Island where I live, that's the only kind they had. And I love the bark. The bark is beautiful. If you take the bark off of really any eucalyptus, it gives a really beautiful tone. If you like to do things like with avocado and with teas and coffees, to do your laces and things like that, if you have access to any kind of eucalyptus, if you get the bark, it works really well. And it gives them really, because it has a lot of tannin in it, and it's really cool. I know on the Big Island, the eucalyptus, it grew everywhere. But it didn't just grow up in the forest on the Big Island. It grew close to the coast also. If there was a banyan tree, there was a eucalyptus tree. And there was banyan trees everywhere. I wish I had been doing this when I lived over there because there was a lot of cool stuff you can use. The ohia tree that has a lot of tannin too, but there's not any of that here on the mainland. So, oh well. I have to try other things now. But anyway, so do you have any other questions about our project? So I can ask at least the ones that you have to do as far as prep work to get your stuff together. Does it have to be fresh? No, it doesn't have to be fresh. No, because, Don mails it to me and I store it. So it doesn't have to be fresh. But as far as, for instance, people here on the mainland, if they were to go to a florist, some florists, spray their plants to, what's the word? Kind of like preserve them so they last longer. So the stuff that you even get at the florist, some of those, even if it's the variety that would print, they won't print because they've been sprayed with something, chemically, and it doesn't allow the printing process to go through. So, oh, that would be great. Yeah, send me some of the rainbow ones and see what happens. And you can flick off some bark too. Yeah. I even put it in the refrigerator. Like right now I have a box of Don had sent me some eucalyptus from around the area of where she used to live in her condo. And then she sold her condo and then she moved somewhere else to an apartment and they had a bunch of eucalyptus there too. So she sent me some eucalyptus by her new apartment. And that didn't print at all. And it was because it was a different variety. And I told her, I said, I bet you got that from a different tree, right? And then she told me the whole story. Yeah, that it was, a whole different area where she got the new eucalyptus, and that didn't do anything. The shape was a little bit different. The texture was a tiny bit different. And I said, no, this has to be from a different tree. And she goes, yep. So, okay, it looks like you have more spines than covers. Where do you find the extra spines? These extra spines came from other projects that I had. For instance, I had this book in it. You can see how big it is, right? But it wasn't thick enough. So the spine wasn't thick enough. So what I did is I took this out and then I created a new one for the thickness that I needed for that particular book I was making, which left me with this spine. So a lot of these, they were too thin to create the journals that I wanted. So I used this part of the book and then ripped this part out, put a larger spine, and then saved these, not knowing what I was going to do with them, but was hoping I would figure. I've seen them do a lot of different things, like making what do you call it, a bookmarker with them and stuff like that. But I just wanted to try something different, and so I just kept them. And then I got the light bulb moment. So so that's where I have them. But and that's where I got them from. But I'm sure if you go to, any kind of a bookstore, you're going to just go and look at them. It's the books you never want to bring home because they're falling apart. Well, now you know what to do with them. Bring them home, tear them apart, and there you go. Yeah. And I think now that I'm thinking, I think I have another box with these. And I don't know where I put them. You know how when you think you're getting organized You find a home for everything, and then you only remember where they used to be, and then you forget where the new home is. I've done that with a few things. So Vicky knows that. She comes over. Usually if someone asks me, can you get me blah, 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 I just pop up, run into the other room, come back with it. And then every once in a while, I get this blank look on my face like, uh-oh, where did that go? And I think that is it. I got these cute things. Oh, um, look at these, Vicky. Here's some of those things that I got the other day. Remember in that box? I put a few of them together. But a lot of these are really, really vintage. These are really old. I don't know if you guys remember these. I don't. They're even too old for me to remember this kind of, I guess they were in offices and to take messages down. But anyway, these came out of a storage closet. And some of these are super, super old. You know, like probably, when I say super old, I mean probably like from the 50s, 60s. And some of the papers were even already aged. And everything looks like it's been coffee or tea stained, but it's just the way it is. Wow, that was kind of cute. Oh, and look at these too. Oh, this is from Boston Insurance Company. But look at these. Now, these are super old. I don't even know when they used these. And look how the telephone is, the number. This, I don't know how long ago. FR4-1687. I wasn't being stingy. You were trying to rip me off before I even looked at the stuff. And you didn't even take what I gave you. So there. Now you can come and take what you want because I've looked through everything. Look at this. This is cool too. Look. And then I took this out of some books that I have. Now this is from the Old House Journal from 1983. I have these big oh wait, hold on. I got one of them here. Is this one it? No, that's not it. I have these big bound things. This is one of the things that I got on the last day of the sale. And so I got this big giant book with all these cool things, if you like old stuff, all these cool things in there. And so I've been cutting these things up and putting little packages together to put in my shop. But I think they're so cool. It's so time consuming. I don't like to really put all these little packages together because, boy, they take a long time. And then, you know, you can't charge hardly anything for them. It's not hardly worth the time. But it's stuff, you know, I'm not going to be able to use all of it. So I might as well share it. But this was from, what do you call that? From like an instruction manual for typing, those big old books they used to have in school. But this one's like old. And I don't know what year this is from. But anyway, some cool things like that. Yeah, that's what Vicki calls me. I haven't figured out why. I'm not sure if it's a compliment or I'm not sure what that means. Slimy plants. I do like the slimy plant stuff. I do. I have to admit that. Okay, I have this book right here. You might be interested. Oh, I don't know if I can get it in the frame. Hold on, people. Watch. This thing is a doozy. Let me try and get this stuff out of the way. This is another thing I got at the library. You might appreciate it. This, oops, I gotta turn it. Watch the autofocus. It's gonna get all whacked out. Okay. Oh, now it's upside down. This is called the graphic. All right. Don't ask me what the graphic is. But this book is it's 12 inches wide. 12 and 16 inches long. All right. And you can see, I don't know if it's going to get all wacky. Hold on. I'll do it slow. And that's how thick. It's about 1.5 inches thick. And it's super, super, super heavy. And it's from, look at that, 1915. Whoops, can you see that? From 1915. And it is a compilation of this magazine. Oh, let's see if I can get, I don't know if I'm going to. Okay. Oh, they got bugs in it and everything. Okay. This is from the Graphic. It's an illustrated weekly newspaper. But I think it's for the military because everything in here has something to do with what was going on in the world militarily. And so some of the pictures, they're kind of gross because they have some, graphic shots of the war. I mean, this is what they were reporting on. So not very, there's some you don't really like, but they show some of the ladies and they're having tea and, all this crazy stuff in all their nice apparel and their hats. And then the next page, shows a bunch of soldiers piled up, killed. I mean, the whole thing is kind of weird. But why did you get it then, Rosemary? Well, the real reason I got it is because in the back of each issue, because this is a book bound with all the issues, I think, from that year. But in the back, or did I tear those out already? Well, let me get to where I didn't tear it. In the back of each issue was all of this advertising. And it was pretty cool. Here we go. Here's the back of one. So the only reason I brought it home was for all the advertising that is in the back of each one. And I thought, well, I can live with that and not look at all the other, sad stuff. That's pretty thick. That one page. Uh-oh, Mary already saw the fountain pen. I might have to send that to Mary. Look at that, Mary. A 1915 fountain pen made in London called the Swan. Cool, huh? Okay, so anyway, so that's the only reason why I brought it home with me, because I liked all that. And then I thought, well, I'll just go right through all this war stuff, be done with that, and then go back to the next page that shows the advertising. There you go. And then you get to see a guy. Look, BVDs is old. I didn't know it was that old. He's got his BVDs on. Look at that. And then I guess if you have an upset stomach from killing people, they have malted milk tablets. It says send a flax of this to your soldier. I don't know. Okay. But anyway, cool stuff. Cool advertising. And then they have this chair that looks like a modern day recliner. And they have the poor military guy bandaged up around his head and his arm stretched out on that modern looking chair. And here's the piano roll. Cute dog. I'm a dog person. But anyway, these are the kind of goofy things I find at the sale at the library. So you, I'm sure, can find the same sort of things. And then I got that this year. Last year, this was really cool. Hold on. Whoa. Hold on. This is really heavy. Okay. Look at the spine on this one. This one's super, super thick. This is like 3.5, 4 inches. And somebody had collected all of the issues for a couple of years of Antique magazine. And this is, the first one is for 1954. And you can see what people were buying and collecting and what was considered expensive and desirable in the antique world. January 1954. But I have this whole big old thing. So these are all the kinds of things I have to go through. And I'm going to make some packets, but I just haven't had the time or the desire or the inclination to do it. But I know, it's heavy. It is super heavy. And then it's got these metal contraptions. I don't know if I'll be able to show it to you. It's got these little metal contraptions that I haven't quite figured out how to use, but you unlock it somehow, and then these little metal things come out, because this is the entire magazine the way it was original. And then this is just holding all the individual months. So you pull this somehow, or I'm afraid to do it because I'm afraid I may not be able to put it back. That's why I haven't opened it up, but it moves, you know. And then these metal strips here, these metal strips right here hold the magazine in. So those kind of pop out somehow. It's weird because they pop in instead of out. So anyway, I don't want to mess with it, but that's just, you know, another thing I'm going to have to figure out. But I look at these houses and I go, see, I live in a Victorian home myself. And I look at all this furniture and I go, holy moly. I think about all the work I have to do. But anyway, this was fun. I haven't looked through it all. I looked through maybe one issue, got the idea, but there's a whole bunch of stuff in here. So this is fun too. So those of you, like, you know, if this is something that you enjoy doing, that would be something to make a journal out of, something like that. It's just, oh gosh, it's just whatever you're attracted to. Like, where do I have that? One of my favorite journals. Hold on, let me go get it to give you some ideas of what you can do. I have to get everything out of the way. Now to find it. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, here it is. I'll bring 2 of my favorite ones. Maybe 3 of my favorite ones. We'll get you inspired. Okay. This will give you an idea. Okay. Now this isn't the one I swapped, but we did a swap. And we made journals out of purses. I did this quite a few years ago. Well, quite a few, maybe 3. But anyway, just took a regular purse. You can take any type of purse. And then I just opened it up and created a journal in the purse. Put a little lace, a little this, a little that, little cards. Put some more bling into the bling. And there you have a journal. So you can make journals out of anything. It doesn't have to be books. You can make it out of a purse too. Okay. Oh, and then if you want to start small, you can get those little composition books, the real little small ones. All right. And then what I did is I did Journaling by Fives, Shannon's little baby. I did that, but miniaturized, and I did it with this. And, you know, I just painted the pages like she shows you how to do it. And then I went back and I stamped and then I glued. And then, you know, you guys that have done it, you know how it works. And then, oh, this was really fun. And so those of you who are intimidated by something big, go out and get one of those at the Dollar Tree. They have a package of these, 3 of these for $1. You can't lose. All right. Now, my favorite, I don't know why, I just love, well, I do know why, but I won't get into the whole story right now. But I love anything that is Asian. And so I went through my stash and I got papers and I painted them reds and golds. And then I looked through any kind of napkins that had remotely any kind of a hint of an Asian flair to it. And then also what I did is, we were talking about you, Shannon. Uh-oh. See, she heard me talking about her and she pops up. That's spooky. Shannon, I was telling them that you can make journals out of any size of anything, and that this is, you know, your Journaling by Five thingamajigger that I did on this little itty bitty one. And so, you know, not to be intimidated and having to make a whole big book, you can make this little tiny one. See? Anyway, so back to this. So then I looked for napkins that looked, you know, at all Asian, and put this together. Now, this is really, really, really a junk journal, because what I did is I took about 4 or 5 pages of some kind of either newspaper or magazine pages, whatever it is you want to use. And I took those and I sewed them together to create something a little more sturdy, and then left one side open on the top so I could put some things in. And so that is how I started this one. Now, this front cover here, at the Dollar Tree one year, they had these little, what would you call them? They were, there's a name, I can't think of it, one of you will. But anyway, you would put the wine inside of it. It's like a wine bag, a wine gift bag, I don't know. But it was one of these little, like a kimono looking kind of thing. So I got one of those, not knowing what I was going to do with it. I wasn't going to give anybody wine in it, but I held on to it for about a year. And then when I got this idea, I remembered that. I took it out, cut it up, And that was the cover that I put on here. And then, you know, different people have sent me different things like little cards or pieces of art. So anything that remotely said, you know, Asian to me, I put it in this little journal. Okay. So then each page is made like that. It's just scraps of pages that I have sewn together and slopped on some red paint, and then whatever scrap I had in my stash that had what I considered the look, I threw in there. And then um, you know, these were some papers that someone had sent me. These you can get at any Asian market. And then this little guy, I have a friend in Korea, and they make these little dolls. This is their little craft. And so she made me one, and she had sent that to me, and it's serving some kind of food on there. And so I thought, well, that needs to go in there. And again, just scraps, piece of paper. This is some newspaper. I don't know if that's Chinese. No, I don't know what it is. It's Asian. I don't know what language. Then we had done a swap, and my swap partner had made this. Isn't this beautiful? I mean, she drew it and painted it. This is gorgeous. I cannot do stuff like this. And I just think this is beautiful. This is all hand painted. Isn't that beautiful? So, of course, that had to go in my journal. And then this was something that somebody else had made. And so that too found a home in this journal. And then when I was asking, I forget now who asked about the ring binding. This isn't ring binding, but it is just the holes with fabric serving as the ring binding. And this is fun. It's easy to do, and I like the way it looks. And just some more things that were laying around. And something else that somebody had made me. How pretty that is. She lives in Japan. So that found a home too. Now all this around here is napkins that I just like the colors. And these are napkins here, and these are napkins, and these are just scraps of fabric I had from, I don't know from what. And then this is some more from that newspaper, the writing. And then this is those cocktail umbrellas that you get on drinks. It found a home. And look how beautiful that is. Isn't that gorgeous? Well, see, I could never do anything like that. Ah! Now I can't get it in. Uh-oh. Hold on. See if I don't whack you guys. Maybe it's the wrong place. Aha, it's the wrong place. Okay. Again, scraps. There's the umbrella from the wacky drink. Isn't that pretty? And this is part of a butterfly napkin. That's pretty. Hold on, look at this. This is so cool. Well, it's been in here for quite a while. Let's see. Hold on. This opens up. It's like a, it's been closed too long. Hold on. Oh, no. There we go. Look at that. It's like a room divider. Isn't that gorgeous? I just love that. All right. So see, you can make them out of anything. Hi, Amy. Oops, this one looks stuck, people. Uh-oh. Okay. Oh, this is from Amy. She's so cute. And some other pieces that people sent me that I said, hey, that'll work. And that's some more napkins. So see, you guys can use anything and everything. Trash, napkins, things you get, purses, everything. Scrapbook paper you don't use anymore. Little composition books. Did I say something to Shannon? Is she leaving us? Okay, good. We can talk about her now. Okay, so to wrap it up, people, those of you that just got here, where's my little thing? We're going to start a new project together. I'm making it up as we go. I've never done it before. Whoops. We're going to do it together. And we are going to call it Get a Spine Journal. Okay? And the reason we're going to call it that is because we are going to work with loose spines that we have. We're going to create a 3-spined book. We're going to enlarge the spine if we need to. We're going to decorate with the spine, and we're going to make a journal specifically for what we want to use it for, whether it is to do art, to glue, to write, whatever it is. So go on the hunt for your books. The size of the spine doesn't matter because we can always adjust that. Next time we get together, make sure you have some kind of tape, whether it is, what's this? I'm losing it already. You know what it is. You know what it is. You know what it is. You can get this tape at Dollar Tree if you don't already have some. You can get this kind of tape at Dollar Tree, which is electrical tape. Very inexpensive. Plus, it's pretty cool to work with in your journals. And you can, I think it's a package of 2 for just $1. And the best one for working in our spines is duct tape. I don't think they have it at the Dollar Tree. They may. It'll probably be really small, but that's fine. You don't need a whole bunch. And I do know they sell the decorative duct tape there, but decorative duct tape does not have good adhesive. It's only for looks. We won't work the way we want it to work. So go on the hunt for some duct tape. Maybe in your garage, you already have some, or in your friend's garage. Go next door and say, can I look through your garage? Because you know they're going to have duct tape. And this you can get at your Dollar Tree for just $1. And I think for now, that's all you're going to need. Some books and some of that. And be thinking, what you're going to use your journal to. If this is going to be your very first journal, think about what you're going to end up using it for. And then from there, we'll do some instruction on how to put that together. So like I say, we're going to do it together. I've never done this before, so that you can see when you do something and it doesn't work the first time, or you get frustrated, or you don't know what to do next. You're going to find out everybody does that, and everybody feels that way. Even people that have made all that crazy, goofy journals I've already made. This might throw me through a loop because it may not work the way the way I have it visioned. It may not work, and that's how we learn. We're going to learn together, right? So get your parts together. Let me know what kind of binding you guys are interested in, because we'll be able to do at least 3 different kinds of binding, because we're going to have 3 spines, and we'll be all set to go. Let's see. You just created one, Amy. Yeah. I'm interested to see what I'm going to create too, because I have no idea. I had no idea. All right, you guys. Thank you for showing up with no notice, and start getting your stuff together. And we're going to make something pretty cool. Get a spine journal. Okay. Who's scared? Why are you scared? You can't work and listen at the same time, Vicki? Well, I can understand if you're drawing, but we're going to make a goofy journal. You can do it. I have confidence in you, Vicki. You can do it. All righty. You guys take care. And again, thank you a lot for the support on such a short notice. And hopefully I will let you know ahead of time when we're going to do this. As soon as I know, my people will be in contact with your people. Okay? All right. Good night, ladies. Thank you.